Hey people out in YouTube land, Zach Hall back with another review for you. It's going to be the follow-up review that we talked about, going over which cover should you get. I know there's a multitude, it seems like, of leathers and different materials that people bind the Bible with. So I just want to go through some of the common materials that many publishers use, and then hopefully that'll help you make a decision when you go to purchase a Bible, or at least be informative so in the future you can know the differences between these different materials. We'll also discuss the difference between a paste-off liner and an edge liner and the benefits of both, and then maybe some of the cons of each of those. So starting off, we'll just go over each leather that's common. And again, there's more than I'm going to show you, but I am covering most of the leathers that people use to bind Bibles if you're looking to get into premium buying. Also show you some of the lesser materials that people do use as well. But starting off, we're going to look at a goat skin here from Cambridge. Now, a goat skin is going to be the highest level of leather. You're going to be talking about R.L. Allen level, Schuyler Bibles, Cambridge, all publish their Bibles in goat skin, their higher end editions. And for good reasons. Goat skin is a tough leather. It's very durable, will last a long time. However, it's flexible at the same time. It's very nice in the hand. It feels very smooth. It has a grain to it, so it's not like iron calfskin where it's just butter smooth. It's smooth, yet you feel the grain, you feel the different things in the leather. So it's more of a natural feel, but at the same time very nice. It is very flexible, well bound. It's going to give you many years of use, many years. Goatskin is a very tough leather, one of the toughest leathers to bind a Bible with. So it does go on premium editions because it lasts the longest out of most leather types. The second one we're going to look at here is lambskin. This is a rarer leather. However, it is kind of making more of a comeback, I guess, or kind of rising. Lambskin is very interesting. I personally love it. Some people either love it or hate it. Lambskin is super, and I mean super soft. This is just buttery soft. Absolutely love the feel of this Bible. I love lambskin. I wish it could be in more bindings. This is a church Bible publisher binding, or local church. This is the Common Man's Reference Bible, which is in lambskin. And it's super soft, very nice. You can see here it says lambskin. The only problem I have with lambskin is that while it's soft and it's flexible, even more flexible and even more soft than goatskin, the reason why not a lot of premium editions have lambskin is because it's not as durable. And I'll show you what I mean. Okay, I've dropped my goatskin Cambridge and I've nicked it up, and you can see it's still intact. There's no discoloration, there's no major bumps on it. It still looks great. It looks like the day that I bought it. However, I've had this lambskin for about a year and a half. I accidentally dropped it, not from a far height either, and it got scuffed up there in the corner. These actually are just from rubbing it on the table, studying with it, and just going through and reading the Bible. So I got some scuffs there. You can see those there too. So that's one thing to be aware of with lambskin. It's amazing. I mean, I really do. I love it. I prefer lambskin. That's one of my favorite Bible covers. However, even though it's a premium leather, it's soft, it's flexible, very flexible. Its durability is not as good as goatskin. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to like crap out on you in like 5 years. This would probably last you a lifetime. However, if you don't like the disfiguration of your cover, like if you don't like to see the gray or the nicks and the bruises, lambskin probably isn't for you. I'd probably go with goatskin. But moving on, we go to calfskin now. So this is our other four-legged friend, and calfskin varies depending on who you get it from. This happens to be a church Bible publishers, and they do ironed calfskin. So even though you can see the grain, and you can see it running across there and a little there, and then you got all the wrinkles going up and down, it's pressed out because it's ironed. And I personally love iron calfskin. This is my favorite cover as of right now from this church Bible publishers. It's the 120 cameo wide margin. This is a beautiful cover, super soft, and the awesome thing about calfskin is it kind of combines lambskin softness and flexibility with the durability of the goatskin. So if you don't like the feel of goatskin, you feel like it's too rough or too grippy of a leather, calfskin is super smooth like lambskin. It's as flexible as lambskin, yet it's tougher than lambskin. It doesn't get as nicked up as easily. So it's kind of a combination of both, and that's personally why I love calfskin. I think it's a very good option. However, it does vary who you buy it from. For example, Cambridge's calfskin is going to have almost no grain at all. It's going to be very small and almost pebble-like, but it's going to be really soft. So calfskin is generally really soft leather, varies on the grain depending who you get it from, and is a very durable and reliable leather. Now we move to calf split. Calf split is actually the undercut of the calf skin. So when they cut the skin off, there's a top layer to the skin and an under layer. Now the top layer is going to be the softer layer. It's going to be the more flexible layer. Calf split's underneath, and it's going to be more tough, more hide-like, more not as flexible, but more durable. It's going to have a tougher feel to it, and that's what we get with the Cambridge calf split. And I'm telling you what though, when this wears in, when you first get a Cambridge calf split, if you own one or if you do get one, it's going to be stiff out of the box. Now, I'm not talking about like laying down. The binding from Cambridge is absolutely fantastic. However, the cover is going to be super tough. It's almost going to feel like bonded leather when you first get it. It's going to, when you open it up, it's going to just want to open straight up, and then when you shut it, it's going to stay open. It's not going to shut immediately. So it takes some working in. But I've had this Bible for a couple years, and I absolutely love the pebble grain that Cambridge has put in this. It's a soft leather. It's not as soft as calfskin. It is rough. It's tough. It's durable. However, now that I've worked this in, this calf split's really flexible. Really nice. Because, again, it still is a calfskin leather, just not as high as a grade. But this is super durable. Now, this isn't going to have the softness of the calfskin or the lambskin, but it's going to have the durability. It is definitely going to be a tougher leather for you. But with Cambridge's, the dye, for whatever reason, on this will fade off. So there are some gray spots appearing on this Bible. And with more use, it will have more gray spots, more discoloration. And if you actually look at Matthew Everhard's review of his Pit Minion, you'll see that this color will just turn to gray, and the different colors, whatever the color of the calfskin was. However, it is durable. It will last you a long time, and you'll get many years of use out of it. Excuse me. Next, we move to natural cowhide. So this is going to be tougher than calf split. However, the way Local Church did it, it's softer. It's nice to the touch. You can really dig into it. This is a very durable leather, very soft. This is built to be abused and yet last many, many years. And you can see the grain here from this natural cowhide. It's absolutely beautiful Bible. And the cover is just really nice. And you can see here where it probably got caught on some wiring. There's some scars in the leather. But this is a really thick leather. You can see that it's very tough, very thick. Doesn't want to bend as easy as the calfskin or the other ones. Yet it's going to get you many years of use. Very tough, and it's very affordable. Okay, when you start to get down to cowhide and calf split and French Morocco, they're premium leathers, yet without the premium cost, if that makes sense. So an R.L. Allen goatskin or Cambridge goatskin is going to be $200-300. Cowhide, calf split, and French Moroccan will drop you below $100 in most cases, yet they'll last a very long time. So natural cowhide is a very good choice as well if you're someone on a budget, yet you still want a premium feel. Which leads us to French Morocco, very similar to the natural cowhide and the calf split. It's an under cut of a calf skin, so it's not as flexible. It's not as pretty or not as premium as the other leathers. However, French Morocco has the advantage in that it's very cheap, comparatively speaking, to goatskin. TBS bounds their Bibles in French Moroccan leather. Cambridge has some that they do in French Moroccan. And the best people that do French Moroccan leather is Bearing Precious Seed under First Word Publishing. But their French Morocco is amazing. They do a stamped grain, so this isn't natural. It's stamped onto leather. However, it looks very good, very attractive. And theirs is very flexible. Their French Morocco is, really nice. Once you get it broken in, rolls up real easy. However, be aware if you do buy from TBS or Cambridge, it has a different lining, and we'll get into that later. But this has a leather liner, so it's a lot more flexible. It can be because it has leather, and leather in general is pretty flexible. Whereas TBS and Cambridge, they have paste-off or vinyl liners, which is kind of like a tougher paper. And so they're going to be stiff. They're going to be hard to move, but they're going to be more economical. So they're going to be cheaper. They'll last for a while, longer than bonded leather, longer than genuine leather. However, with Cambridge and TBS, you could probably expect it to fail within 10 to 15 years of use. This one from BPS, it'll probably last your whole lifetime if you treat it right. So that's just the differences there in the French Moroccan leathers. BPS, Bearing Precious Seed, they're going to last longer. TBS and Cambridge, while still good, probably not going to last you a whole lifetime. So there's a difference between those. Then we're going to move on to this, which you're probably like, what is this? This is actually imitation leather. Now I know this running here is it's kind of crazy. I like the design, but this is imitation leather, so it's man-made materials. However, this one from Paseo, this is a MEV thin line. And again, just disclaimer, I don't use the MEV. I think it's interesting. I use the King James. But anyways, it has imitation leather, so that's why I have it here. So it's very soft. It feels like a cowhide leather, really. If you have ever had a cowhide from Holman, very soft. I really like the feel of it. I love the color of it, too. And then it's going to be pretty flexible. Imitation leather tends to be more flexible than bonded leather. It's still going to be tougher, so like you can't just roll it up like you would a Cambridge. Or maybe you can. Look at that. So you can see it's soft, but then that's where you're going to get where it creases because it's not actual leather. So you have to be careful with these. These definitely aren't going to last you a whole lifetime. Imitation leather really isn't meant to do that. However, you are going to get a lot more use out of this than you would a bonded leather. And we'll get to that one just after this. But imitation leather is kind of a step up above bonded leather. Depending on who does the imitation leather, it can be the same as a genuine leather. Genuine leather tends to be pigskin, which is definitely lower than goat skin, definitely lower than calf skin, and definitely lower than French Morocco. Yet genuine leather tends to be better than bonded leather or imitation leather. However, this one from Paseo on this MEV, I prefer this over a lot of genuine leathers. This feels like cowhide. This feels like an actual leather. And if this didn't have this on here and this was just one solid cover, I would probably have thought it was cowhide. Yet the price reflects this. This is only a $19 Bible compared to, you get a genuine leather on it, and for some reason it jumps up to $40, $50. So good material. It will be durable for you. It feels like leather for the most part, yet it's not going to last you a whole lifetime, probably. You'll get good years of use out of it, but you'll probably need to replace it every, you're probably talking about 6 to 10 years. 10 being really pushing it. 6 about average if you take care of it really good, very well. And then moving on to probably the worst thing you can put your Bible in besides paperback, in which paperback we all know is economical. You're not really going premium paper or anything there. Bonded leather, though. This, there's really not much good to say about bonded leather. And of course, if you're in the Bible community, it gets a knock. But bonded leather is leather straps. Okay, so just strips of leather pressed together with things like cardboard, paper, and other things to produce a fake leather. Is the best way to say it, because this looks like leather. It has grain, or it looks like it does. And it is because it's like partial leather. There's leather straps in here. There's actual leather in here. But this one from Oxford is mostly the other stuff. It's not mostly leather. So depending on who you get the bonded leather from, I've heard Cambridge's is pretty good, but like Oxford's, Schofield's terrible. Holman's bonded leather, even though I love Holman to death, their bonded leather really, their bonded leather's better. It's better than most. Thomas Nelson's bonded leather stinks. Zondervan's bonded leather stinks. So you just have to be careful of bonded leather. I mean, if you just want a cheap Bible, one that you can use and beat up for a couple years, then go for it. And if it's going to be like not your main Bible, maybe it's some handheld Bible you take out to door knock or something like that. Bonded leather could be a good option for you, but if it's going to be a main Bible, I tend to stray away from bonded leather just because its material is really not that good, guys. It's just not going to last you a long time. It's not built to last. It was really built to lower the cost of leather Bibles. So if that's something you're interested in, though, bonded leather, some people like it, some people don't. I tend not to like it unless it's done very well. So I'll leave that up to you guys to decide. Now moving on to paste-off versus an Edgeline Bible. And we'll go ahead and just, I have like 3 different paste-offs, but all my leather line ones are pretty much the same. So I'll just use my CBP to show you. So edge-lined means that it's going to, whatever the inside material is, edge-line means that it's going to run to the perimeter of the Bible to the very end and meet up with a cover. And then you see that the cover actually flips over it. And then CBP stitches theirs. Not everybody does. They just maybe glue it. But either stitch or glue it to this inside cover. But then also runs, this inside cover runs into the first 2 pages. And you can see it right here. That's actually right down here. That's part of that cover. And they glue it together to give this Bible strength. Okay, so normally where the stress point of a book is right here. And you'll start to see within like a year or 2, it will start to rip apart right there. And then your pages fall out or the whole book block falls out and the cover is separate. But what this edgeline does is it moves the stress from here to here, which will add many years and possibly even many lifetimes to the life of a Bible. And it all depends on the material you use inside. So a lot of people use leather. A lot of people will line Bibles with calf skin or lamb skin, and they'll do like a goat skin cover, a lamb skin liner, or a lamb skin cover, calf skin liner, however they do it. Church Bible publishers and most people use imitation leather. So this is still flexible and a very high imitation leather, so it's going to last a couple lifetimes for you. So that's what makes this leather super flexible. That makes the leather cover super flexible. So you see, because this inside cover has the flexibility to roll it around, to do whatever you want with it. That's what gives this calfskin it's the highest flexibility it could possibly have. So calfskin, because it is leather, is already flexible, but because it's edge-lined with another flexible material, it just gives it this super flexible, super rollable cover that in general we all love. We all love that you can do that. However, paste-off liners are not the same. But the difference here is that paste-off liners are going to save you a ton of money. I mean, a ton of money. And I'll start off with Cambridge because they do the best paste-off that you could possibly do. Now, this is a Cambridge. I have a Cambridge goat skin here. This is edge-lined, okay? But this is also like $120 more than this one. And that's because this is a paste-off, okay? So this is not leather on the inside here. This is a vinyl, but a very good vinyl vinyl liner, and they glued it in very well. You can see I've had this Bible for 2 years, and it's not starting to come off on the edges. There's nowhere it's starting to lift off at. It's on there. So they did a very good job with that. And to add a safety measure, they also ran vinyl tape. You can kind of see it there, that line. They ran vinyl tape up through here. And they actually tabbed this into the block as well. So this will actually have a very long durability. It's not going to last as long as an edge-line leather Bible, but this is going to give you many, many more years of use. You probably could get 15 to 20 years of use if you use this correctly. And you don't just abuse it and leave it out in places it's not supposed to be. But if you treat it with the respect it deserves, you can get a good amount of usage out of it. The next step down, but really it's still pretty good, is the MEV type of paste down liner. This is heavy duty, like the best way to say it is like construction paper. It has the feel of vinyl. It's really thick. It's really nice. I really like the feel of it, and it's lasted. And you can see it's glued down well. It's not coming up around the edges. Everything's intact. But it's a step down because they don't do the vinyl tape. So it's just this one whole sheet of paper. So eventually, at some point, if this was my main translation or whatever, this is gonna rip straight down the center, and eventually that book block's gonna flop out. But this is a very heavy duty material, so it's very, very well made. Should last you for quite a while. Then you get to probably one of the not as good vinyl liners here. This is very thin. You can see it's coming off right there. So Oxford doesn't do too good of a job. This is just a really thin vinyl sheet. They tried to put some tape in here. It's okay, but you can still see it's starting to rip. It has a lot of stress in there. And then you have, of course, like your basic paper liners. Holman does those, and those rip really easily. I've had a lot of their Bibles, and it rips right down the center. Gone. But Holman does a lifetime guarantee on their Bibles for most part, so you don't have to worry about them as much, about shelling out the money, and then something happens to your Bible, and oh well, you got to go buy a new one. Holman will take care of you. But so you can see, guys, paste-off liners, they're not bad, they're not terrible. So that's something you're worried about, like, oh, I don't want my Bible to be ruined. Cambridge definitely has the best paste-off liners. They'll last you a long time. The MEV's paste-off liners pretty good. This Oxford one is, that's all I can really say about it. And then Holman has like paper, which is going to not last you a long time. Compared to Edgeline, where these leathers and these flexible materials are going to give you a lifetime of use, and the way that they bind the Bible, putting it in between these two pages, giving it extra strength, the binding extra strength, it'll last you past your lifetime and possibly past your children's lifetime. So I hope this was a help to you guys. I know we covered a lot of material. I'm sorry this video was a little bit longer. I do hate doing that, but I think it's worth spending the time on to know what Bible to purchase. If you have a question about a leather or any materials that we saw, if you have a question about imitation leather or bonded leather, or if you have a question again about the paste-off liners, please let me know in the comments. If you're going to go buy a Bible, you're not sure, or you don't know what type of leather you like, shoot me a comment. I would love to answer your question the best I can. And really the best way to know whether you're going to like a Bible is to get in your hands, and I know that's kind of tough because that involves money. So I want to do this so you guys can see the leathers up close and how they act, how they move, and describe to you how they feel. Of course, you're only going to truly know once it's in your hand. But I hope this video was a blessing to you guys, and again, I hope you have a great day. Take care, and God bless.